For today's cup of coffee, we have some tech ponderings. Mm-hmm. And this comes from Daily Star. And I've also, let's see on this, there's pictures that will be included. And there's another link that I'll also include on here that discusses the same thing. And this is by Fasika Zelealem. You can go on there and read it.
Fasika
Zelealem. Close enough. No one cares. August 17th, 2022. Y'all can go on the link will be in the description box. Y'all can go on there and read this, and I'm sure that pronounce it much better than I will. And this article,
sorry if we butchered your name.
But it's never an intentional thing. It's never intentional. Elon Musk says that Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot will eventually cost less than a car. Which, considering that a Tesla car is like some ridiculous amount, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, which car? Are we talking about his cars or actual cars?
Normal cars.
Yeah.
All right, and it says that new details about Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot have been revealed by CEO Elon Musk, who said they are intended to replace humans in repetitive, boring, and dangerous tasks. Well, that sounds good. It says, after first being announced at AI Day in August of 2021, the robot will debut at AI Day on September the 30th, and that's supposed to be of 2022. In an essay published in China Cyberspace magazine, that's significant. Hold on to that thought. Musk wrote, quote, Tesla bots are initially positioned to replace people in repetitive, boring, and dangerous tasks. But the vision is for them to serve millions of households, such as cooking, mowing lawns, and caring for the elderly, end quote. According to Musk, the robot was designed to have human-like features and limbs. Quote, the Tesla bot is close to the height and weight of an adult, can carry or pick up heavy objects, walk fast in small steps, and the screen on its face is an interactive interface for communication with people, end quote, he said. He further goes on and states, you may wonder why we designed this robot with legs, because human society is based on the interaction of a bipedal humanoid with 2 arms and 10 fingers. So if we want a robot to adapt
and a face.
So if we want a robot to adapt to its environment and be able to do what humans do, it has to be roughly the same size, shape, and capabilities as a human, end quote. Musk suggested that in the future, a Tesla bot may cost less than a car. He said, quote, thereafter, humanoid robots' usefulness will increase yearly as production sales up and cost fall. In the future, a home robot may be cheaper than a car. Perhaps in less than a decade, people will be able to buy a robot for their parents as a birthday gift, end quote. Details of the bot includes that it'll be 5 foot 8 inches tall and 125 pounds, with the autopilot computer used in the Tesla cars to be included in the bot, which will allow the humanoid to recognize real world objects. It'll be able to deadlift up to 150 pounds, carry
that's not much.
To deadlift 150 pounds, that ain't bad. Carry 45 pounds and walk 5 miles per hour. Hey, it's doing better than I am these days. Musk dispelled any fears that a robot awakening can occur by stating, quote, it's intended to be friendly, of course.
Well, no shit.
Now,
if it's supposed to be a household robot, I would assume that it would be friendly.
It's interesting because, well, Musk is an interesting human being to begin with.
Yeah.
And we're not sure, Kid is right as far as one of the pictures, if I can get it to upload, when I can include it. The one that we have that has the technical details, that will not be a problem to insert. The other picture, I don't know if it was a 3D rendering.
It's most certainly a 3D rendering.
They had said that at the one conference that he had had somebody come out in a robot suit, which was obviously a joke, so I would say that it's not the same prototype as this one was. Because he does have a sense of humor. He really does. But he also, and it's not that people don't have the right to change their minds, but some of his changing of minds is interesting because he was concerned about AI and it replacing humans.
Right.
And yet he's working with AI. And this is the same man that Neuralink thing, that's his, isn't it?
I don't know.
It was,
I don't pay attention.
I think it was a chip implant that's supposed to help people who, that are paralyzed, to help them re-walk again. And I think that I read recently that they had made strides in that, which would be great, and I don't think he's Dr. Evil in any way. But recently, as far as him being quoted in the China magazine, that he has been talking with China on some of these things, that's one of those that gets a Spock eyebrow from me.
I mean, it's probably cheaper to produce them over there, so that's why he's probably talking to them about that.
Maybe.
But I don't know, if they end up being cheaper than cars, maybe I'd get one.
It would be great.
Have it come around the house, help clean up. Yeah, sure.
Yes. And this is sort of like we were discussing yesterday about
I could put a wig on it.
The proteins that could
put a mask on it.
Be put in people's bodies to, at some point, control the peoples with sound waves. Some things that start out good do not necessarily end up being used for good.
Right. Because usually people are assholes.
Well, people have a tendency to be very self-centered. And as far as power, and it's like, why? That has always baffled me because I don't think that way. My goal is for everybody to be independent, functioning adults, no matter where they are in the world, need to be responsible. So I don't know. But like I said, I don't think that he's Dr. Evil. I think that he has good intentions on some of his creations. That does not mean that at some point any of this technology will not be used for bad purposes.
Right.
Even in some of the sci-fi movies, before they became robot overlords, they had been designed to be helpers and stuff like that until they were not. But
what happened to the ones that were treated good though? What did those ones turn evil too?
I think that there in some of the movies that you had certain good robots that were trying to protect the humans. The thing with AI and it possibly developing a consciousness, which we reported on that not that long ago. And what if it figures out it's like, oh, well, we're superior to people because we don't have emotions that get in the way of pure logic and reason. And that was the thing about Spock, in Star Trek.
Yeah.
And some of the, later you had the android dude that was Data. And to be perplexed at why people have emotions, why humans do as they do. And there is a huge push for humans to no longer be human. There are several, groups that are pushing towards that. You've got the transhumanist movement that saying that it's the next phase of evolution. Proposed by who? Humans?
Right.
Yeah, that's not going to work real well, is it?
No.
How many
it's
times
not.
has man tried to outdo God, and how many times has it ever worked?
Not many. If ever.
Never. Never. So, I mean, it's a cool concept. The thought that you would have a tool such as this to help do basic tasks, especially for people that those basic tasks are have become a struggle. There's people, not just elderly people and stuff, but if you've got any kind of a physical disability or challenge or anything like that,
Right.
Such a creation could be a blessing.
Yeah.
But you've got to wonder what would be the cost and the upkeep of such a thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, these rural areas, how would you get them repaired if one of them broke down?
Yeah.
Like, would there be, like, a shop that would have to be put up somewhere nearby? How far would you have to travel to get it repaired? Would you have to ship it off?
I mean, it's just like the electric cars in this area.
There's no point.
That would be just useless.
There's no way. There's nowhere to charge a car.
I think that we saw...
To charge an electric car around here.
Where was it that we were... It may have been when we went to Sam's Club, and that there was this...
Now there, yeah, but that's
I think
like
that was a charging port, and I'm like, I had never seen one before.
Because it's a city. It's a city.
And those of you who may have one of these cars, how long does it take to charge? I mean, because it takes, as far as to fuel up a vehicle, what, maybe 3-5 minutes, something like that, depending on the size of the vehicle.
We don't know because, like, we don't have that kind of money to get one of those cars.
No. And in this area, are you kidding? If a deer ran out in front of it and you hit it, which is highly probable.
Yeah.
And then you've lost all that money. Of course, I guess if you've got enough money to buy one of the Teslas, then you've got enough money to get it repaired and to have insurance that would repair it. So, I don't know. But the AI thing freaks me out greatly.
It doesn't freak... Like, it freaks me out to an extent, but at the same time it intrigues me. Like, I can see the uses for it.
Yes. I mean, I can too, but it's also one of those that if it does become sentient and it figures out that it is smarter than humans, then what?
I mean, that's the thing. It will be sentient, but it will never actually know what it's like to be human, and it will never feel.
Exactly. And the thing is...
But the thing is, there's also, like, video games being like... not video games, but, like... Not just video games, but, like, there has been media, like... They want to know what it's like to be human and what it's like to feel emotions. And actually, there is a video game... called, I think it's Become Human or something like that, where the AI actually, like, does end up feeling emotions. And it does actually start to, have empathy, and it starts to have, like, actual human emotions and thoughts.
But see, to do that, you have to be human. It may think that it has a concept.
Maybe that's what it was, to be
of emotions, but that is a uniquely human trait.
Yeah.
Lizard people don't count.
No.
That's one of the reasons that they do what they do, because they do not, as far as compassion and empathy and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To think that you know what somebody else is thinking or how it is to be someone else, yes, you can be empathetic. And that's one of the things that is very offensive when somebody has an issue and somebody says, I know how you feel. No, you don't. That's a very presumptuous statement. I never say that to anybody. It's like I can empathize with your, with your grief or whatever it is. But no, I don't know how that person feels. You can sit there and go, I have shared this a similar experience or whatever, but individuals, unique.
Yeah.
And it's like AI, isn't it all basically a similar program?
Yeah, kinda, but not really. I don't really know how to explain it. It's odd.
Well, it's a different dimension.
Yeah.
And it
Metaverse.
is, yeah. And it's just, there's so much about these things that we don't know. I don't want this to turn into some kind of Frankenstein's monster.
I found this thing the other day about like how they actually have these cryo chambers now. Like actual cryo chambers now for people who they can just, freeze their bodies or heads.
And do what?
Just whenever.
And do what?
I don't know.
I mean, to awaken at a different time where everybody that you knew had, was gone. The world that you knew was gone. Trying to assimilate into a new world. I mean, my God, it's hard enough for those of us who did not grow up with computers and stuff. I was talking online to Great Death about that. That those who did grow up with a device in their hand, y'all have no understanding sometimes of the challenges that those of us who did not. It's a totally different world. It is. And it's a challenge for the different generations.
Yeah.
But you try to bridge the gap on understandings of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, things that have started out as a benefit often are misused. So, yeah. Sounds good to have the thought of it. It's like, how many people could that help, truly help? But at some point, some military is going to get hold of that, and they're going to weaponize that shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, at some point, the soldiers themselves are going to rebel against the government.
Well, I'd say that's probably coming pretty quick. But if you got robot soldiers, you don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Coffee slurp. So, things to ponder. Let us know your comment, in the comment section, your thoughts about these things, about the AI, about the robots. Yeah. Because we have some people that watch these videos that are very intelligent people and, deep thinkers. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate their comments. I enjoy the comments.
Yeah.
The people that use ugly words that want to call ugly, don't do that. That just totally blows your comment. There was one I read the other day on BitChute. Of course, it was BitChute. And I had responded, and it's like, the rest of what the person had said it had validity. But, it's like, don't call people ugly names because most people will stop reading at that point. There's no sense in that.
Right. Wow.
And it's like, why? Why would you feel the need to do that? I don't know. And who knows? Maybe people, and I know this, words that we find that here in our country are offensive, in other countries are not. Mm-hmm. And especially in Australia, there was a website that I used to, it was a channel that I went to a lot, and this person came in and he's like, "Good morning, you bunch of C's," and I'm like, "What?" And he was Australian, and he's like, "Here, dude, that's not a bad word." And I'm like, "Dude, here it's a bad word." And so maybe some of these other words are like that, and maybe I give people entirely too much credit.
I mean, over there it's a bad word too, but they don't give a cat. They don't care. They don't care.
Treat others with respect. Talk to other people like you would like to be talked to.
Respect is regional.
If you don't like to be called ugly names, don't call other people ugly names. That's kindergarten level stuff.
Once again, that's regional.
Could be. That very well could be. Anyhow, if you've had experiences with paranormal and supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, AI, robots,
I'd buy one of them.
overlords, if you got local, regional, or family myths or legends.
I ain't going to buy an early model. I want like a good one.
Well, that's what he was talking about as far as things with mass production. When they first come out, there's not many of things, and that's why the price is really high.
Mm-hmm.
And as everything becomes more streamlined, then the price does drop. That's true of any technology.
Yeah.
So send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and the link will also be in the description box. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting things.
Yeah, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Why'd they decide to make it faceless? Why couldn't they have put like a projection screen?
That's what I figure that it will. I figure that it will have some kind of projection screen.
I don't think it will. I think he'll have like literally it like having like a blank face.
Yeah, that's not creepy
like
at
a mannequin.
All. That's not creepy at all. Mannequins freak me out. Ew. You like them, but
yeah, mannequins don't freak me out at all. I still want one.
No.
Like
well, you can have it in your room, but it's like that.
Yeah, they'd be walking through the house though.
Oh hell. No. Anyhow, we'll see you all on the next cup.
Bye.
Bye.